Chapter 14. Pelham's helicopter hovered high over the Antarctic ice. The doctor watched through the window. He waited until he was certain that the Navy helicopters were also at a safe distance. Then he pressed the trigger button. The explosion was huge. The centre of the base blew out in a vast ball of flame. Sections of roof and wall were sent spinning high into the cold, grey sky. Seconds later, smaller fireballs started to blow the base apart room by room as the chain reaction sped up. It was like watching a house of cards topple. Lizzie couldn't believe how fast the destruction spread. The noise from the explosions was like fireworks on bonfire night. A second huge blast rocked the helicopter as the drill head building blew into 1,000,000 pieces. The tall tower started to topple, and in seconds there was nothing left but burning wreckage on the ice. For a moment there was silence, and Lizzie thought that it was all over. But suddenly there was a noise like a giant whip being cracked. A massive crack started to spread out across the surface of the ice. Moments later, another split appeared, and then another, and another. It was like watching a speeded-up film. The web of cracks spread and multiplied, forming a vast pattern on the ice. With the ice sheet fractured, the weight of the base was too much to support. Half the buildings vanished through the ice into the lake below, in a cloud of billowing smoke and steam. More and more of the ice started to collapse, spreading out in an ever-widening circle. The convoy of tractors loaded with barrels of fire ice vanished into the lake. Merkers roared as the ground collapsed beneath them, and they were swallowed up by the freezing water. It was a vision of hell. As the last remnant of the Pelcor base vanished from view, a plume of steam and embers was thrown, hissing into the Antarctic sky. When the cloud cleared, there was no sign that the base had ever existed. The doctor gazed sadly down at the vast expanse of grey water that had not seen the light of the sun for millions of years. In time, the ice would reform, sealing off the Silurian base again. The Merkers and the Sea Devils could only survive if they returned to the hibernation chambers, to sleep once more. And the fire ice? The doctor glanced across at the man who claimed that he had discovered it. Somehow, the doctor doubted that he would ever come looking for it again. Lizzie squeezed the doctor's arm. "Is he going to be okay?" "He'll be fine. In fact, you might even think about recruiting him to your cause." "You're kidding, right?" she said. "He's got lots of money," the doctor told her. "Lots of expertise. You could do much worse." Lizzie stared at him with a mixture of surprise and admiration. "You're always going to give people a second chance, aren't you, Doctor?" The doctor just smiled and let the bomb control drop from his fingers. He watched as it was swallowed up by the cold grey waters below.